here's something else you'll want to check out if you haven't done so already. Casa Feliz. Over the years, this historical home has caused quite a stir in the Winter Park community. Kristen Kenney tells us why as she takes us on a tour of this local landmark.
Tucked away on the Winter Park golf course sits an architectural gem that looks like something right out of 15th century Spain. Welcome to Casa Feliz, or Happy House, a 1933 farmhouse built by Winter Park's pioneer architect James Gamble Rogers. A home that's as rich in Spanish architecture as it is heritage.
It was the crown jewel of his residential architecture, the richest legacy, really, that he left in the city of Winter Park.
A legacy that has survived 75 years because of community enthusiasm for this uniquely crafted home.
Written on the back of this, built by J.N. Chestnut, Daytona Beach, Florida, February 24th, 1933. This was the carpenter. And these folks were so proud of what they were doing, they actually signed their work. And we saw this everywhere.
If there's one person who can speak about the legacy of this house, it's Jack Rogers, the son of the renowned architect.
It really, of course, started with the work that my father did on the house in 1933.
It was at that time when Winter Park resident Robert Bruce Barber commissioned Rogers to design a home on Lake Osceola, offering him unheard of freedom for an architect.
He said, well, I'm Mr. Barber, Robert Bruce Barber, and I'd like you to design a house for me. If I don't like it, I'll sell it. And so my father described that as an architect's dream come true, you know, which indeed it was.
The result? A two-story, 6,000 square foot whitewashed brick structure, complete with an interior courtyard and handcrafted Spanish tile roof. A work of art Mr. Barber not only liked, but lived in until his death in 1950. Casa Feliz remained a private residence, owned by 5 different families for the next 50 years. And it wasn't until 2000 when this architectural gem faced its biggest threat: demolition.
We didn't know that the house was about to be destroyed. It had just been sold, and there was no understanding that this was intended. So when the first corner went down with the swing of the ball, the town rose up in arms.
Community residents like Polly Seymour rallied on the streets, doing all they could to prevent Casa Feliz from becoming only a distant memory. The citizens won the first battle, the city stopped the demolition, and the house was safe. But the catch? It needed to be moved 900 feet to the Winter Park golf course. Now, that doesn't sound that far, but it was a far from simple task.
And they winched the house along, maybe 10 or 15 feet an hour or something like that, just about like watching paint dry.
This house, weighing 750 tons, now that's 1.5 million pounds, resulted in one of the most dramatic events in Winter Park's history.
The fact that it was moved attracted a huge amount of media attention. We had bleachers, we had a Dixieland band. It just captured the imagination.
It's this sense of community spirit and pride that has helped reinvigorate this almost lost treasure. Once Casa was positioned in its new location, volunteers lined up to bring back its glory.
I thought it might be an opportunity for me to do something I enjoy doing, which is construction, working in old homes, and give something back to the community.
Winter Park resident and contractor Frank Rourke dedicated his time to lead a team of volunteers.
If you look over here, this is the bell tower. You'll see the bell up there, and just to the left of the tower and slicing down diagonally, that whole corner had been knocked off by a bulldozer, and this had to be reconstructed, and including the bell tower.
Highly skilled artisans and craftsmen spent years restoring its authenticity, bringing in elements of design that trace back centuries.
These tiles were already almost 100 years old. They were made in Spain over the traditional way in which clay is taken over the thigh of the worker and bent to form the barrel shape that you see. And we had to replace some of the tiles, but there is no place that you can go out and buy 100-year-old tiles of this shape and size. We were very fortunate to find an old house in Spain that was being demolished with 100-year-old tiles. So it did take us longer than we originally projected, but I have to say it was really one of the finest experiences of my life, the team that we worked with, and it was a team experience.
An experience that took 4 years, but proved to pay off. In 2005, Casa Feliz opened its doors to the public as a museum and rental space, thanks to those who lended a helping hand.
Now that it's here and so much in use, it comes to life every time there is a group of people here, and that's of course very frequently.
And as visitors pass through, they're reminded not only of the architectural splendor, but also community devotion.
This really does, again, speak to the spirit of the builder.
A similar spirit that traces back 75 years. A spirit that keeps its heritage alive.
That's just a taste of the Arts Connection. You can catch more great stories like this at the Arts Connection website at wmfe.org/arts and see new episodes every Thursday night at 8 on WMFE TV. Thanks for watching.